Want to help the channel? Go to shopclownfish.com where you can check out official Clownfish TV merchandise in our brand new shop. It helps us out. Also, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/clownfishtv for more art and gaming live streams that we don't do on YouTube. We want to see you over there as well. Now let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. We're going to talk about the war on anime. And yeah, I am going to call it a war on anime. We've been talking about this for about 2 years now on the channel, that there is an increase in attacks on anime, on Japanese style artwork, on manga, on light novels. It's been rapidly escalating over the past couple months. Now, it started out with, some news outlets having problems with certain anime like Goblin and Rising of the Shield Hero, anything that had military uniforms in it. Tanya the Evil cosplay was banned because it might make Portland feel bad. It started out kind of inching toward complete censorship, and now I think we're absolutely at a crossroads where the West is trying to tell Japan what kind of work they can and can't produce, and Japan is actually pushing back. In previous videos, we've talked about how manga and anime artists, different content creators, were going to the Japanese government concerned about outside influence when it came to anime. And it could be the West, it could be China, but wherever this censorship is coming from, it absolutely is escalating at an alarming rate. We talked about how Amazon suddenly purged a bunch of light novels in the last couple of weeks. A very strange decision. And now we have a bookstore, a Japanese-owned bookstore in Australia, that is banning more manga. Now, this shouldn't surprise anyone because Australia has basically been waging war on anime now for several months. There is an Australian senator that demanded all Japanese anime and manga is reviewed for what they consider to be child exploitation. That is, if the characters look like they're younger than 18, and most anime characters do, given the fact that the way that they're drawn, big heads, big eyes, small features, doesn't mean they're children. It just means that they're drawn in a style that was originally, believe it or not, lifted from Disney films. That's where the manga style came from. So we're basically seeing, Disney style, American art style sort of reflected back, from another country, absorbing that style and reflecting it back to us. But somehow it's being interpreted as underage children being abused. And some of the titles that they're banning, I'm like, I don't even understand why. I mean, we're not even talking hentai or anything. Like, what is going on here? So we're going to talk about that. This is coming from Bounding in the Comics. Spencer Bakuli wrote this. He kind of put it all together that Kinokuniya Sydney removes various manga, including Goblin Slayer and Sword Art Online, following complaints of child exploitation by Australian legislators. Is this the same one? The Japanese bookstore chain has removed several manga titles from sale from their Sydney location, including Goblin Slayer and Sword Art Online, following complaints by an Australian legislator that classified the titles as dirty child books. And I don't know what I can say. In a formal letter written to the vice president of the bookstore chain, SA Best legislator Connie Bonaros revealed she had previously raised concerns over child exploitation material being sold over the counter in bookstores, specifically referring to various manga titles sold within the store. Now, this is not, I do not believe this is the same senator. So apparently Australia really, really, really hates anime and manga. And they really have a problem with Goblin Slayer, No Game, No Life. They hate that. Yeah. Bonaros was formerly the chief of staff to Australian Senator Sterling Griff, he was the one, who made headlines earlier this year after calling for a national ban on manga series such as Sword Art Online, Goblin Slayer, and Euromanga Sensei, similarly and disingenuously accusing these titles of promoting and contributing to child exploitation. The younger look of characters stylized in manga art appears to be the main point of contention, as she claims that the offensive and illegal material was found in a range of books featuring depictions of wide-eyed children, childlike in stature but engaged in naughtiness. She said the titles were in breach of the definition of abuse and exploitation material under both Commonwealth and state law in Australia. They really freaking hate anime and manga in Australia, don't they? So she revealed that she had previously asked the bookstore CEO Masashi Takai to immediately remove these offensive books from sale as a matter of urgency. Think of the children. And that they had complied with her previous request. However, in the letter, she wanted to know if the manga had only been removed from their Australian store or if it was a broader ban. Well, what does it matter to her? She then requested a list of countries where they might have banned the manga and which manga had been banned. The letter began earlier this year. I wrote your chairman and CEO raising concerns. Oh my God, she's a Karen. She's a Karen. She's an Australian Karen, raising concerns about child exploitation material being sold over the counter in the bookstores in Sydney. My investigation also found other well-known retail outlets selling similar offensive material over the counter and online in Australia. So is this connected? Yeah. And presumably overseas via the internet. Is this connected to what happened with Amazon pulling all these light novels? The first one we heard of getting pulled was No Game, No Life. She wrote, despite being clearly in breach of the definition of abuse and exploitation material under both Commonwealth and state law in Australia, I was horrified that dirty material is freely available in Australia, noting the extreme level of concern both domestically and internationally about child protection. I asked Mr. Takai to immediately remove these offensive books from sale as a matter of urgency. She asked the manager to give her a list of the countries where the offending titles have been removed from sale. If possible, could you also please provide me a list of the number of book titles impacted by your decisive action? Given the seemingly widespread availability of sale of this kind of illegal, exploitive material, a powerful opportunity exists for you to take a globally leading role in taking a stand and tackling the scourge of child exploitation. We're talking about a fucking cartoon, and they're not even underage. Karen. They're not real people, Karen. They're not underage, Karen. This material has been available for freaking decades. And nobody had a problem with it until you and your senator decided they were going to get their panties in a bunch. I'm sorry, can we have panties in a bunch, or is that exploitation too? You got your panties in a bunch about characters that you think are underage, and now you want to police the whole world? Is that what you're talking about? You want them to police the whole world and just ban any potentially offensive anime or manga worldwide? You don't have that kind of a right, Karen. You really don't. And Japan's not going to put up with your shit either. I know they're not. They're already concerned about it. So this is what Mori responded. He said, in response to your question, Karen, the below series have been removed from sale in the Sydney store. Sword Art Online, Euromanga Sensei, No Game, No Life, Goblin Slayer, Inside Mari, Dragonar Academy, and Parallel Paradise. He added, this equates to several hundred individual titles. We're communicating with the Australian Classification Board about this issue to better understand what content requires submission for classification, and we're continuing to monitor titles we carry. So I think this Karen, she's like a hyper Karen. She is Omega Karen, Karen plus Ultra. I think you can blame her. I could be wrong, but given the titles, I think you can blame her for Amazon pulling light novels all of a sudden. Very little explanation. Of course she congratulates them. I congratulate Kinokuniya on taking such strong and decisive action. If this action helps stop one child from being abused, oh my God. Nobody's being abused because of fucking cartoons. Are you mental? Are you mental? Holy crap. This is ridiculous. So now we've got Anime News Network commenting on Amazon's delisting of at least 15 light novels. This is from, believe it or not, Anime News Network about a week ago. And they said they really didn't know what the hell was going on. They said they sent multiple inquiries over the course of weeks. This is coming from J Novel Club. And they received no detailed reason from Amazon regarding the delisting. And this Karen is saying that she's going to try to basically get the stuff banned from online stores too. You know, it's coming. So according to J Club Novel, is this the president, Pinansky? Amazon Kindle support does not have the capability to communicate directly with the Kindle content review team, blah, blah. Yen Press issued a statement to Anime News Network last Wednesday regarding the delisting of some of its titles, noting that Amazon determined some Yen Press titles did not fall within their global, here we go, global content guidelines. So let me get this straight. All of this sudden banning of content, sudden banning of these titles is because of one Australian Karen. That's freaking insane. You know, and again, I don't read a lot of these books, but I fully believe in people's right to produce this material. And again, we're not talking about actual children being harmed. We're not even talking about children or underage people 99.9% of the time, but this goes along with Patreon banning what they consider to be like underage looking art. This goes along with the Amazon thing. I mean, and you pair these people up with the SJWs, right, who have been trying to find reasons to attack anime for various reasons. It's fascist. It's too violent. It's you know, Shield Hero. They have a plethora of problems with the rising of the Shield Hero, and they've tried to take that one down. But now you're getting the government. You're getting an SJW Karen apparently involved too, and Japan is going to have to push back. People are going to have to push back. They're not going to stop. It'll start with the stuff that's more quote unquote problematic, and eventually they'll just, you know, just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until all you'll be allowed to watch is Hello Kitty. I'm just saying. So I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. And yeah, there is a war coming. Amino, actually, the War on Anime, Millennial Anime Fan, has a nice write-up of what's going on, and it's going to continue to happen. It's going to happen in games. It's going to happen in anime. It's going to happen in manga. Any kind of Japanese content is going to be under attack because for some reason these people think these characters are children, even if they're not. They're not even real. They're cartoons. They are cartoons. Gonna wrap it up. We'll talk later. Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.